Hey, what's up guys, this is BY Gaming, and today I've got another rant style video for you on the Fugitive killer and the problems I have with it. So before we get into this topic, I want to please ask that you like, share, and subscribe because it would really help me out. Now, that being said, what issue do I have with the Fugitive Hater? Which, for those of you who don't know, is a monster that basically gets released every single bounty hunt that does triple damage to the bosses basically of the event, and also is just generally really powerful all around. What problem do I have with this? And I want to start off by saying that the problem is not the fact that Social Point is releasing monsters every single season that are just really strong and, enticing people to buy it. That's not the problem I have with this event. The problem I have with this event is the Fugitive Hater aspect, where this monster can do triple damage to the bosses, but only for this month's bounty hunt, right? It doesn't make any sense to me. And before Meltius right here, there were two more basically fugitive killers, right? Electric and Ingui, both of which were also $100 if you wanted to get them at rank 5, and they also only did triple damage to the bosses for their bounty hunts, right? The bounty hunts in which they were released. And so that doesn't really make any sense to me, considering that if you go here and take a look at the actual fugitives, to my knowledge, there's not really much of a difference between them. They actually are pretty much the exact same monsters. So all of a sudden, Electric, 2 months ago, he was doing triple damage to these exact same monsters, but for whatever reason now, he lost his ability to do triple damage. And I get that it's just, an aspect to make it exclusive so that players are more enticed to buy the current Fugitive Hater, but it just doesn't make any logical sense why Electric and Ingui, who were previously doing triple damage to these exact same monsters, all of a sudden cannot anymore, right? I feel like the way the Fugitive Hater should actually work is, let's say you were around for the Electric bounty hunt, or the one where Ingui was basically introduced, which was the previous bounty hunt. I feel like if you bought those monsters, they should still retain their Fugitive Hater status for as long as bounty hunts continue to happen. And now hear me out on that. You might be like, oh, come on, you just, that's demanding too much. But it's like, if you really think about it, it isn't, right? Because that's a pretty hefty price. Like if you pay $100 for a Fugitive Hater, that's actually quite a bit to be spending. And I feel like the perks you get, and for it to only be effective against the Fugitive for only like 1 week, which is how long the bounty hunt goes on for, really feels like they're ripping you off. Because again, as we just talked about, the monsters themselves are pretty much the same. The fugitives that they were just previously doing so much damage to are all of a sudden literally immune to their, their triple damage status. It doesn't really make any sense. And, I totally I get the fact that they want to keep releasing new monsters, and I don't have a problem with that, right? So let's say a new player starts playing the game now and they want a Fugitive Hater. They can just purchase the one that is currently available. But if you were, let's say, a player that had been playing for a longer period of time and you already have one of the Fugitive Haters, I feel like that Fugitive Hater should permanently keep that status where it constantly does triple damage to, the fugitives that are featured in that month's bounty hunt. And the reason I feel like this should be the case is that alone does not remove incentive to buy the monster. You might be saying, oh, well, if that's the case, less people will buy the monster. And, that might be true, but the reality of the situation is these Fugitive Haters are also very strong monsters all around, right? It's not like their only perk is the fact that they do triple damage for a week. These monsters are generally very strong. And so it's like you can use them in PvP, you can use them just in general to become a better player. So, just on the fact that they're very good monsters, sometimes I feel like that would be enough to get people to still pay $100 for them. So, I feel like there should be the Fugitive Hater should be like a class of monster where they're continuing to release them. But if you have any of the Fugitive Haters, you should be able to use them in the bounty hunt to do triple damage, right? Because some of these monsters are not so easy to kill, even with triple damage, right? If you look at the fugitives, a lot of them, later in League 7 have hundreds of millions of HP. And if you don't have active players all around, you're going to have trouble defeating them even with the Fugitive Hater. I remember there was a time I had to gem my way through it because other people were just not attacking. So I feel like, again, if you were part of the previous bounty hunts and you actually got one of the Fugitive Haters, especially if you purchased it for like $100, you should be able to keep using that Fugitive Hater for the rest of the bounty hunts, right? And it makes sense because it's like, these monsters are specialized in doing triple damage. So why did they all of a sudden stop being able to do it? Because, the developers decided that it was time for them to not have that ability anymore. It just doesn't make any sense. And again, that is most likely not going to stop people from buying the monster anyway, because the monsters that are released are still very strong. They're just, way stronger than average anyway. And so that alone is probably incentive to keep people buying them. And, on the plus side, if you kept the Fugitive Hater status on every single one of these monsters, it would be just great for everybody. It would actually be more of like a valuable purchase because it would actually, warrant spending $100 on it. You could keep reusing it, and it makes more sense because these monsters are technically fugitive haters, and they were previously doing triple damage to monsters that are pretty much one and the same anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of my rant. I feel like, I don't know if I was super clear about what the problem was in this video, but I hope that really cleared up my problems with the fugitive hater. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. So if you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.